Hi, I'm back again talking about trousers or trouser patterns. Um, Hopefully you've watched the other videos and you've enjoyed them. If you want to see more of what I do, then please subscribe to the channel. Um, just click the subscribe button. What I wanted to just talk to you about quickly was that with the trouser pattern that I've drafted for late 19th century, a lot of people say, oh, it's a bit wide in the leg. So, and also because I work in different periods, I don't want to start from scratch each time. So I've used this pattern to then draft a slightly narrower legged pattern, and so that we have a full front section at the top for Regency trousers. So what I did, I took these patterns and then I laid another sheet of paper over the top and then made the adaptations and then cut them out. So I'm just going to show you, rather than go through the whole process, I'm just going to show you what I ended up with. So I'll start with the front. So they're my late 19th century. And then over the top, there shouldn't be too much difference around the sizing of it when you first start off. So as you can see, all of this shape is still the same. This seat line is still in the same place. And then if I just talk about the leg shape to begin with, and I'll come back to the waist, which is slightly different. We've got the knee line and then the hem. Now, I don't know whether you can see that, but the width of the trouser is slightly narrower, and I've actually drawn an extra line just to take it narrow again if I want to. And to do that, to achieve that, what I've done is I've found the centre point of the width of the trouser leg. So just turn them this way for the moment. What I've done, using my pattern master, just found the midpoint, marked it, and then I've come in, and for this one I've come in approximately 2 centimetres on each side. Don't think it's sitting quite square. Just under 2 centimetres on each side. And then I've gone up to my knee line, and then I've done the same. I actually drew my straight of grain line through the centre line of the trouser, and then I've just tapered it in, not by the same amount as at the bottom, but you can if you want to. This line here is more straight from the knee downwards. My only concern about making them narrower is obviously that if people have wide calves or wide thighs, then they won't fit. But taking it in by roughly 1 centimetre on each side won't make that much difference. And then all you need to do is join the dots. So join to your new line and then come back and join back. What you don't want to do is take anything off here, and you don't want to take anything off on your hip either. So those two really need to stay at where they are, and then you just taper down on the side seam, and do the same on the back panel as well, so that both of your trouser legs are slightly narrower. Okay, if you're making for yourself, you could take it in a little bit, you can make a toile, or you could adapt it, and then try it on and see whether you want to bring it in any further, or if you're making it for a client, obviously. But as a kind of standard trouser, that's what I would do. So these are full front. So at the top, I'm going to end up with a separate waistband. And what I've got is this staggered bit, because we're going to have this bit sticking up. There's going to be a tab that sits over here with a button, and then we're going to have a separate waistband. So I haven't actually drawn the tab in yet, or created the tab yet. What I have created is my front waistband. And if you were slightly confused about what I was talking about over the extension for a button stand, if you were doing a separate waistband earlier, this is what you'd need to add on, basically. So we've got this extension, and what I've done as well is I've made the side seam, the waist, ever so slightly bigger at the side seam, and that's because when you create this bit, you're actually taking out at least half an inch because of sewing bits to each other. So I've just added a little bit on, just so that we're not reducing the waist size too much. So that's my waistband, which will sit there. I don't know, I was holding it up there. So the waistband will sit there. So you see that it's all the same size still. And then this piece will sit in here. Okay. And on one side, I'll cut it just to center front. On the other side, I have the extension so that we've got a button stand. And the thing I need to cut is a piece that will sit in here, which has a button on, and will just, you know, hold it all together, basically covers the join. So that's your front, and then the back is much more simple in the fact that the back panel, I've tapered the leg as I showed you on the front, and then on the back I just chopped off the waistband, and I've still got the dart. With Regency trousers, you sometimes dart them, but you sometimes gather them. So if you're going to gather, you just ignore the dart. If you can dart it, use the dart. You can add on a bit more seam allowance if you wanted to, if you're going to gather them, just so that you've got a bit more fullness in them as well. But these are a bit generic. It's not, this isn't, I'm not going historically accurate with this particularly. It's just to create a pair of trousers. Oh, that's a bit worrying. My waistband is too big for my... Right, I need to go back and check that, because I've just measured my waistband. So I took the dart out, as I did before, and I've ended up with a waistband that's too big now for my trousers. So I need to go back and just check what I've done. But just close the dart, and then I've put it on a curve just because it looks nicer, and just smooth the shape out, and then that would be your waistband that would attach like that, and it pulls it all in. Okay, obviously made a mistake there, so I need to go back and check it. But in essence, that's how you would alter a pair of 19th century, late 19th century trousers to be reutilised as a pair of full front trousers. So maybe if you're doing fancy dress or something. I think if I was going to do these, I think what I might do is add on a bit more here, so that I've got a bit more fullness across the back. And then, because these haven't got seam allowance like the other pair, so when I add on my 1/2 inch down on the crutch, which I then go up to 2 inches, maybe I'll add a bit more. Maybe I'll add 3 inches, just to give a bit more fullness in there. You could also slash it to create fullness as well. And in actual fact, 19th century, early Regency breeches were straight across there, so I may just actually reshape that completely. But as a kind of basic guide, that would work. Okay. I hope that's been of help. Hope it's been of interest. And if it has, press the like button, please. And also, if you can, whilst you're doing it, subscribe to the channel, because there'll be lots more things on here for you to look at in the coming few weeks. Thank you very much for your time. Hope you have a good day. Bye.